Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, good to be back with you again. And we got the White Sox and the Tigers here today. The White Sox, 2 games out of first place, Tigers 2.5. Neither one of them have really outstanding records, but again, nobody has a great record in the American League. It's not like the National League where the Cubs are starting to pull away with everything. Patsy Doherty here, first off for the White Sox, and his first roll is a 25 for an 11. That's going to be a single and a stolen base for Doherty. He ends up on second base, and the Hitless Wanderers have gotten their first hit. That'll bring up George Davis. Davis there with a 35 for a 36. That's going to be a wild pitch on Ed Summers, and that will send Doherty to third. The next roll for Davis is a 52 for a 27. That's a ground ball to the third baseman. They keep Doherty on the bag and throw to first for the out, one away. Fielder Jones up there now. You'll notice that I'm going to have to look over a couple times. I have the dice located a little bit too far away from me. I might have to change this in a second. Jones rolls a 16 for a 26. That is a ground ball over to second base. It's going to be Downs who has it and throws over to first for the out. They will give up the early run, and Doherty scores. The reason why we're going to give up the early run is because, it's the top of the first. It's not time to put the infield in. Donahue now, and he's got a 33 for an 8, and that's going to be a fly ball over to center field. Crawford has it for the out, and we go to the bottom of the first. Germany Schaefer up there, and he rolls a 34 for a 44. It's a fly ball over to Jones in center field for the first out. Now, Matty McIntyre hitting only 266. And Matty rolls a 31 for a 9, gets a base hit, and then is caught stealing. 2 away, and now it's Ty Cobb. And as I change this a little bit here, let's see. You can look at my beautiful watch. There we go. That might be a little bit closer for me. Cobb is not really having the best of times here early on in the season. He's hitting 258 and really doesn't have too much to show for it other than that one home run, which, of course, is not very Ty Cobb-like. This time he rolls a 44 for a 7. There's a single to right. With this card, you would think he would have all sorts of extra base hits, but it hasn't happened quite yet this season. Cobb on first. We're going to do hit and run. And here's Bosch Schmidt, who rolls a 64 for a 13, strikes out. We go to the top of the second. Ed Hahn up there for the White Sox. Hahn rolls a 36 for a 30. It's a fly ball over to left field, and McIntyre is there for the out, one away. Now Billy Sullivan hitting a woeful 105 for the White Sox, their main catcher. He rolls a 64 for a 29. Come back over to Summers, throws to first for the out, 2 away. Lee Tannehill up there rolls a 16 for a 26. Is a ground ball over to second base, and Downs has that one, throws over to first for the out. Go to the bottom of the second, it'll be Sam Crawford. Crawford rolls a 24 for a 31. Fly ball to center field. Jones has that for the out, one away. Claude Rossman rolls a 33 for a 0, and the second column rolls a 13 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field. That'll bring up Bill Coughlin with only one out. And the question is, do we bunt and bring Downs up? No, we're going to let Coughlin swing away. And he rolls a 15 for a 10. And unfortunately, because of the B, that will cancel out the 10, make it not a hit. And it says a ground ball to Tannehill at third. Throws to first for the out. Rossman moves up to third base. And here comes Downs with 2 out. It's another rare play because it's a ground ball to third, and yet the runner is able to advance from second to third. So I'm having a hard time trying to picture where that one was. You can let me know where you think that play was at. Downs now rolls a 65 for a 35. There is a little E rule. So 26 out of the range. There'll be a little pop-up over to shortstop, and it's going to be Atz who has that for the out. We go to the top of the third. Still 1-0 White Sox. Jake Atz up there after that play rolls a 35 for a 42. He's hit by the pitch and takes his base, and that'll bring up Doc White, ready to bunt. He rolls a 55 for an 8, which means it's a good bunt over to the pitcher. Pitcher throws over to Downs, the second baseman, covering a first for the out. I drop the dice, and then comes Patsy Doherty, and Patsy rolls a 61 for a 42, so he's hit by the pitcher as well. 2 men hit by the pitcher in this inning. That'll bring up George Davis, who hasn't been hitting well, so he'll bunt again, and he rolls a 53 for a 19, and so that does count as a sacrifice. That is an error on Coughlin, the third baseman, who throws so poorly. Davis meets second, Doherty over a third, second sacrifice of the inning, and here is Fielder Jones. And let's see what Fielder Jones can do with runners on at second and third. 2-0 now White Sox. He rolls a 31 for a 9. That's a fly ball over to right field. Cobb has that one, but he's too far deep. That'll score a run. Move Davis up to third. 2 outs now. Jiggs Donahue up there. Jiggs rolls a 51 for a 14, and he walks. Runners on first and third now for Ed Hahn. And the White Sox are going to blow this one open. And Hahn rolls a 15 for a 10. That's a single that will score 1. And the other runner is thrown out at third base, and that will end the inning. White Sox with their second hit, and they have 4 runs now against the Tigers, who still haven't figured out Doc White. Here is Ed Summers, who rolls a 26 for a 29. Come back to White, and he throws to first for the out, one away. Germany Schaefer now rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out. It'll be Matty McIntyre now, rolls a 15 for an 11. That's a single for Matty, and he steals second base as usual, and that's hit number 4 for the Tigers, brings up Ty Cobb. Tyrus rolls a 56 for a 22, and that is going to be a stolen base for McIntyre. Steals third base. Cobb still up there now, rolls a 35 for an 8. It's a fly ball over to right field. Hahn has that one for the out. We go to the top of the fourth. It's Billy Sullivan. Billy rolls a 53 for a 19, changed to a 21. That's going to be a error there on Rossman, the first baseman, allows Sullivan to reach first. Here's Lee Tannehill, and he rolls a 42 for a 13 and strikes out. It's only been one walk given up by Ed Summers today. It's been those two errors that have really hurt the Tigers. That, and there was that crazy sacrifice error. I guess that was one of them. Jake Atz rolls a 62 for a 12, and there will be a little E. And the rolls a 33 out of the range. That ends up being a ground ball to the shortstop, Schaefer, who flips over to Downs for one, and then on to the first baseman, Rossman, for the double play. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and it'll be Bosch Schmidt to lead things off here, hitting 267 for Detroit. Rolls a 53 for a 19, change to a 16. That's a fly ball over to Jones in center field for the first out. That'll bring up Wahoo Sam Crawford. Not hitting well, 239 with only 250 on base percentage and an awful slugging percentage. He rolls a 41 for a 28. That's a ground ball over to Atz, the shortstop. He throws to first for the out, 2 away, and it's Claude Rossman. He's hitting a little bit better. You're going to see a different lineup once Sunday comes. Rossman rolls a 62 for a 12. Here's the little E rolls a 36 out of the range. That's a ground ball over to Donahue, the first baseman, who does that one by himself. And we flip over, go over to the top of the fifth inning. It's going to be Doc White. And Doc rolls a 33 for a 7. He gets a clean single to right, third hit of the game for the White Sox. And that'll bring up Doherty. White does have that 11, so we're going to see a rarity here, hitting and running with the pitcher on at first. But remember, this is 1908. This is back when pitchers could hit. Doherty rolls a 51 for an 11. That will send White to third. Doherty will steal second. That works just like any other 11. You kind of wonder why they don't allow the fast runner to score there, but I didn't make this game. I'm not going to wonder out loud too much. George Davis now runners on at second and third. 4 hits for the White Sox, who also have 4 runs to show for it. And Davis rolls a 36 for a 33. There is a little E, and this time the little E, it's an 11 is the rule. It's going to be another error. This time rare error there on the third baseman, Coughlin, which allows one run to score. Davis moves up to first, and Doherty on over to third. Davis does have the 11. We'll do some hitting and running. 5-0 White Sox now. Fielder Jones up there rolls a 44 for an 8, and that's going to be a single, and that will score 1 and send Davis to third. And Jones has a little C, and so he's thrown out trying to steal. And this is going to be the end, I think, for Ed Summers at the end of this half inning. Jiggs Donahue rolls a 53 for a 20, changed to a 21, and that's going to be an error this time on Rossman, the first baseman, allowing the run to score. Donahue makes second, 7-0 to score. And here's Ed Hahn. Rolls a 63 for a 31. It's a fly ball over to center field. Crawford does that for the out. 2 away, and it's Billy Sullivan. Sullivan with a 34 for a 44. It's another fly ball over to center field. Crawford has that for the out. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and, man, the White Sox have taken control of this. Bill Coughlin up there now rolls an 11 for a 7. That's a base hit for Coughlin. That'll bring up Red Downs. Runner on at first, but he's slow, and we're not going to try any fancy stuff. Downs rolls a 44 for an 8, and that'll be a single, sending Coughlin over to second. That brings up Ed Summers, and as I promised, we're going to see a pinch hitter. It's going to be Davy Jones who comes into this game because 7 runs in 5 innings, I don't care how many of them were unearned. That's just unacceptable. Earned or unearned is unacceptable. Davy Jones rolls a 35 for a 40. That's going to be a slow roller that goes right past the pitcher. Davis has it, throws over to first for the out. Runners move up, 1 out. Germany Schaefer now up there with runners on to second and third. He rolls a 52 for a 27, and that's the opposite of what you want to do. It's a ground ball over to Tannehill, the third baseman, who makes the play and throws to first for the second out. That'll bring up Matty McIntyre, who rolls a 52 for a 27. Same play, same result. Tannehill with the assist again. We go to the top of the sixth inning, 7-0 White Sox, and this is kind of a snoozer. Tannehill, rolls a 42. We're going to keep that roll. My bad for forgetting about the pitching change. This happens from time to time. I wish there was something to remind you, hey, idiot, you need to change the pitcher. It's going to be Herm Malloy who will come into this game. I think I've had him in there before. Like I said, the 42 roll will stand. That's a strikeout. Tannehill strikes out, 1 away, and Jake Atz now up there. He rolls a 43 for a 29. It's a comebacker over to Herm Malloy, who makes the play and throws to first for the out, 2 away. Doc White now rolls a 55 for an 8, and that's going to be a single for White, and he's thrown out trying to steal. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Still 7-0 White Sox. Ty Cobb up there now rolls a 16 for a 28. That's a ground ball over to Atz, the shortstop, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. Cobb has had too many of those. Still hasn't found his groove. Up next, Bosch Schmidt rolls a 46 for a 29. Comebacker to White, throws to first for the out, 2 away. Sam Crawford now rolls a 41 for a 28. That's a simple ground ball to Atz. The shortstop makes the play and throws to first for the out. Top of the 7th. Here we go. Patsy Doherty rolls a 14 for a 43. That'll be a fly ball over to left field, and McIntyre's there for the out. One away. George Davis rolls a 66 for a 0. The next roll is a 21 for a 6, and that'll be a double for Davis. He perches himself on second base, and up comes Fielder Jones. We're probably going to leave Malloy in this game no matter how bad it gets. Jones rolls a 61 for a 40, changed to 23, and that means that Davis is caught trying to steal third. Coughlin, however, is injured on that play, the third baseman for the Tigers, as this is one of those rare plays. So we got to find somebody who can play third. And the first man we saw, Killefer, is going to be at third base. We want you to play third. There we go. Yes, he is set up as the third baseman, and that will bring up Fielder Jones now 2 away. Jones again, I should say. He rolls a 52 for a 27. This time that's a ground ball over to Killefer, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. Claude Rossman here in the bottom of the 7th will lead it off. He rolls a 54 for a 45. There is a little E-roll. It's a 63 out of the range. It's a fly ball over to right field. Hahn has that one for the first out. Now here is Red Killefer, who was unceremoniously brought into this game. He has an average of 1,000. How about that? 3 plate appearances. I'm guessing he's probably 1 for 1. This time he rolls a 13 for a 22, and that's changed to 16. That'll be a fly ball over to center field. Jones has that one for the second out. Red Downs up there now rolls an 11 for a 0. Next rolls a 35 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field, and that'll bring up the pitcher Malloy. He will bat for himself. First time this season, he rolls a 34 for a 44. Fly ball over to center field. Jones has that one for the out. We go to the top of the 8th, and it's Jiggs Donahue who rolls a 33 for an 8. That's a single to left center field, and that'll bring up Ed Hahn. We're not doing anything fancy now. Hahn rolls a 62 for a 12. There is a little E-roll. Another error on the Tigers, and you'll go ballistic. They already have 4 this game. The roll's a 63, and so that's going to be a ground ball over to the second baseman Downs, who flips over to Schaefer for the first force out at second, and Billy Sullivan comes up now with Hahn on at first. Again, not doing anything crazy, up by 7. Sullivan rolls a 44 for an 8. It's going to be a single. Hahn goes over to third, and then Sullivan, of course, because the little C is caught trying to steal. 2 away now. Lee Tannehill up there. 2 outs. Top of the 8th, runner on to third. And Tannehill rolls a 41 for a 28. That's a ground ball over to the shortstop Schaefer, who makes the play and throws to first for the out. Go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's Germany Schaefer up there right after making that play. He rolls a 44 for an 8. It's a single, but he's caught stealing. 1 out. There's Matty McIntyre, who rolls a 24 for a 13, and he'll strike out 2 away, and it's Ty Cobb now. And Cobb rolls a 26 for a 13, and he strikes out. Boy, that's a rarity. You would think that Cobb wouldn't strike out that much. Doesn't have that many 13s. The 26, 46 are the only 13s, and here he is in this game that is definitely over, and he strikes out, and I think he's 1 for 4 today. Not a great game, like I said, from Cobb. Top of the 9th, and it's Jake Atz, and he rolls a 55 for a 9, gets his single, and is caught stealing. 1 out. I guess I could turn the attempt to steal off, but yeah, whatever. Doc White up there now rolls a 54 for a 45, and 61 is the little E-roll. That's a fly ball over to right field. Cobb has that one for the second out, and Patsy Doherty up there now. The thing about games like this is you get to this point, and Doherty's hit by the pitch, and he goes to first. You get to the point in this game where you're like, this game is over, right? We just got to get through it. George Davis up there now rolls a 65 for a 35. It's going to be a foul out to the catcher, Schmidt. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's Boss Schmidt up there to lead it off. He rolls a 32 for a 26. Ground ball over to second. Davis has it, throws to first for the out, 1 away. Sam Crawford now rolls a 54 for a 45. And the little E rolls a 12, and that's going to be a ground ball over to the third baseman Tannehill, and he boots it, and that will allow Crawford on. First miscue of the game for the White Sox, who have been quite smooth at fielding. And here's Claude Rossman with the runner on at first, and the roll's a 56 for a 34. There is a little E roll again. This time's a 61. That's going to be a pop-up over to the shortstop Atz for the second out. Red Killefer up there now. Killefer rolls a 16 for a 26. That'll be a little ground ball over to the second baseman Davis, who flips over to Atz for the force out of the bag. And that does it. So the White Sox absolutely destroy the Tigers in this one, 7-0. And, we always hope that we have a good game. Sometimes you don't. And that's what happened today. Hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.